You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Sadistic, crazy, and out of their minds. There's no other way to describe Republicans who are fighting for Donald Trump. In Wayne County, Michigan, where Detroit is, talk about bizarre. Monica Palmer and William Hartmann, the two Republicans on the board of canvassers, there are four, claimed and signed affidavits yesterday that they were bullied into siding with Democrats and have now rescinded their votes to certify the election. Here's the problem with that. You already voted, it was unanimous. And then Michigan, they're going to certify the results on Monday. Now we find out that the reason they rescinded, because they got a phone call from Donald Trump. Is he now tampering with the election process? Yeah. Now, Monica and Hartman's an absolute racist, if you saw the post about Barack Obama on his Facebook page. They were so hurt. They were so hurt because another white man, that is Ned Staebler, president and CEO of Techtown and vice president for economic development at Wayne State University. Please show us the two offended white people in Wayne County, Republicans, who are just so hurt. This guy, Ned, he was one of the people, Staebler, who spoke up against them. And they said that this right here, his video, is why they were bullied and their families were getting threats because of people like Ned.
We also know that the Secretary of State and the Attorney General have already tweeted out that your legal arguments are rubbish and you're going to lose when it comes to court. So we're not worried about that at all. I'm also not worried about any of your, things are bad so we can't certify arguments, because that's just ridiculous. You certified in August when they were worse. Less than 50% of the ballots are recountable. Now over 72% are. 58% of them are even balanced when it was less than 30% last time. So it's doubled. It's gotten way better because the Secretary of State actually jumped in and did her job, unlike you. But I know it's not going to change your opinion. You talked about not certifying Detroit, even though you acknowledged that Livonia, a city, by the way, I know you know is 95% white, had bigger variances than Detroit, which is 80% black. We understand, and you've now added your name. So I'm not going to try to change your mind. I just want to let you know that the Trump stink, the stain of racism that you, William Hartmann, and Monica Palmer have just covered yourself in is going to follow you throughout history. Your grandchildren are going to think of you like Bull Connor or George Wallace. Monica Palmer and William Hartmann will forever be known in southeastern Michigan as two racists who did something so unprecedented that they disenfranchised hundreds of thousands of black voters in the city of Detroit because they were ordered to. Probably, I know, Monica, you think Q told you to do it or some other crazy stuff like that. But just know when you try to sleep tonight that millions of people around the world now on Twitter know the name Monica Palmer and William Hartmann as two people completely racist and without an understanding of what integrity means or a shred of human decency. The law isn't on your side, history won't be on your side, your conscience will not be on your side, and Lord knows, when you go to meet your maker, your soul is going to be very, very warm.
So, according to the Detroit Free Press, Monica Palmer told them that her family had received multiple threats. The threats have been made against myself, my daughter, and my husband. Reports have been filed with Grosse Pointe Woods Police and the FBI. Yet the Attorney General's office of Michigan said their office had not received a referral about such threats from a police agency, but would act quickly if such a referral is made. They signed these affidavits because they say that they're rescinding their vote. Now, mind y'all, the vote was, we will certify the results if an audit is done. That was the agreement. They now say, we rescind it because we don't think the audit is going to be done. That actually makes no sense. Joining us right now is Jonathan Kinlock. He is vice chair of the Wayne County Board of Canvassers for an update on this one. Wayne, first of all, Jonathan, this is really stuck on stupid. I mean, this whole deal of, we got doxxed and we were harassed. Wasn't that a public hearing? Which means that a public hearing means you hear from the public.
That's the absolute correct characterization of where we were in the agenda. We were receiving public comment, and this came after. We're talking about after Monica Palmer had was pretty much asked if we would consider a motion to certify the election and not include the city of Detroit votes. So when we went to public comment, folks were outraged.
And again, listen, hold on. Let's stop right there. She had no problem certifying all results in Wayne County except Detroit.
That's correct.
Go ahead.
Detroit.
Go ahead.
Except Detroit. And you have to realize that, just understand the backdrop of this. You had every day since the election, the Trump campaign has been filing lawsuits. And in those lawsuits, they have been targeting the voters in Detroit, period. And then for her to be an officer on this board, to have asked, it wasn't something that is normally done. She asked for us to consider, asked if we would consider certifying without Detroit, in which I was outraged, and it was unacceptable for her, and it was totally disrespectful for her to even let that roll off of her tongue. So when the folks began to lash into her and lash into Hartmann, it was from the point of the motion to certify not being able to be passed, because they claim all of these issues occurred that warrant them not doing what is a ministerial duty of this canvasser. So that's something that we normally do. We get reports from our staff stating that these communities are in balance, out of balance, but you are not supposed to let that cause for you not to certify, not to move forward the election results, to move forward to be fully certified by the State Board of Canvassers. So now she's talking about, look, she wants to, she and Hartmann are saying they want to rescind their vote. They can't do that. Let me say something, Roland. After we voted to certify the election, as we included to a request to ask the Secretary of State to perform an audit, we also had voted to waive any reconsideration. So all of this jockeying and all of this stuff here is just only to appease the Trump campaign. That's all what this is about. Because as soon as we voted, soon as the vote failed to certify the election, the Republican Party and Donald Trump immediately, I think they said within minutes, had posted on social media congratulating them and thanking them for not certifying black folk votes.
Now Donald Trump is calling Michigan Republican leaders to the White House, and they're going to go tomorrow because he wants them to basically ignore the will of the voters, forget the fact that Joe Biden won Michigan, and he wants them to seat Republican electors for him. Jonathan there? I think Jonathan froze on us. Let me know if we get Jonathan back because he froze on us. I gotta bring in Erica Savage Wilson, host Savage Politics Podcast, Dr. Greg Carr, chair, Department of Afro-American Studies, Howard University, Reese Colbert, Black Women Views. Let me know when we have Jonathan back. These racists, Greg, are showing us exactly who they are. They're targeting black people. It's undeniable. And what you also have is you have black Republicans who have no courage whatsoever, no guts, don't give a damn about black people, silent. Republican Party's apparatus, silent. We're going to get to a little bit in a minute that crazy, I'm talking about ridiculous news conference that was, if it wasn't so serious when it comes to democracy, you would have thought that crap was an SNL skit. But that's what we're dealing with. We are dealing with an absolutely out of control, deranged man who is scared to death because he knows what's coming, Tish James.
He knows what's coming, Roland. I mean, it is remarkable, isn't it? This experiment we call America, that is not guaranteed to continue. These people have abandoned all pretense. Mike Shirkey, who is leader of the Michigan Senate Republican, is coming here to Washington, D.C. to meet with Donald Trump. They're not even pretending anymore. I mean, it was remarkable to me that 95% of the vote in Detroit went to Biden, and maybe about 70% of the vote in the larger county, of course. But the local board of canvassers, they're trying to hold this up, and the state board of canvassers meets on Monday. And if they don't do their job, Whitmer can still select and appoint those Democratic, the winner of the popular election, Democratic delegates to the Electoral College. They're not going to be able to overturn this. However, they have now declared, damn any concept of America or democracy, our hatred for Black people, we wear on our sleeves. And whether it's finally the folks in Michigan or Loeffler and them in Georgia or Lindsey Graham out of South Carolina, they are forming, it's not an overreach to call them a clavering. Why? This is the language of the Ku Klux Klan. Yeah. we done dropped all pretenses. Don't count those Black votes. That's it.
We have Jonathan back. Jonathan, Trump has actually called the Republican leaders in the legislative body to D.C. tomorrow for a meeting. I mean, this is a person, a candidate who is actually trying to interfere with the election process.
And we are at a place right now in Michigan history and in the United States history where, you have a president and a Republican Party who are making allegations as it relates to corruption. But what they're trying to do is corrupt the process. It is absolutely inappropriate for the president, the Republican Party, or any of these individuals to invite the leaders in the House for the purpose of rigging or to interfere with this election. Let me just tell you something that they're not taking into account. Where they could not get a writ at the county level, they can absolutely go into the courts on Monday and get a judge to order the state board of canvassers to certify the election. It is not a discretionary power that is placed upon the county board of canvassers or the state board of canvassers. So at the end of the day, I think their gamemanship is going to fall flat on its face. This is we're at a very, very uncharted point in history. And unfortunately, Donald Trump finds himself on the wrong side of history.
And the thing here, Jonathan, the Wayne County Board has voted. What the hell is the process to go, oh, no, I know we voted, but now we rescind?
There is no rescinding. After 14 days, the purview of any sort of consideration as it relates to the general election is over as it relates to all county board of canvassers. All 83 counties across the state lose the opportunity to weigh in after the 14 days. It is now 100% in the purview of the state board of canvassers, which will meet on Monday, period. So there is no rescinding, and they know this. I mean, all of this is just ridiculous to even be stating and putting out there in the public.
It's absolutely crazy. Jonathan Kinlock, man, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. We'll keep watching what happens there in Wayne County.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me.
I appreciate it. I want to go back to my panel here. Reese, I mean, what we are seeing are corrupt, thuggish individuals. That's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with the likes of Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump. They are thugs. There's no other way to describe this.
Well, that and white supremacists, white nationalists. We've been saying on this show for months, this is all about maintaining white power. And, democracy or, law and order, whatever kind of slogans are nothing but a pretext for them to use as long as it's convenient for them. And then when it's no longer convenient for it, the hell with it. And that's what they're showing it. This is all theatrics, but for our sake, it's wonderful that we have gotten out of cheating distance, because what this has made abundantly clear is that if this were within cheating distance, we would have a constitutional crisis on our hands right now when the illegitimate president of the United States is obstructing an election tampering. That would be a crisis in terms of this country. For now, we can take it for what it is, which is theatrics, and it's transparently racist tactics. But what I'm hoping, especially Black people out there, are seeing is, number one, your vote matters. Number two, that we have to vote for our own survival in numbers that are not enough just to be the status quo. We have to vote in record turnout just for our own survival. We should be noticing right now that, for another thing, is the silence of the people, the Black rappers and the Black celebrities, or whatever kind of celebrities that were touting that Donald Trump was going to invest in the Black community. Donald Trump is perpetuating the notion that Black people are not full citizens within this country by laser-like targeting of our votes. He's unsuccessful, but we should take note of it, and we should take note of the people who are conspiring with him, which is the entire Republican Party. The people who have not spoken out, the Republicans, are cowards, and they're co-conspirators, and they're complicit. We should be taking note of that. And so in the upcoming Georgia election, we understand and we need to vote like our lives depend on it, because Trump is going to be gone, but Mitch McConnell is going to be there. These same corrupt cowards are going to be there. But one thing that Republicans boss up and have the balls to do is obstruct any and everything that helps this country, any and everything that the Democrats do. They grow a pair when it comes to doing that. So we have to do everything in our power to make sure that Mitch McConnell is not the majority leader after the Georgia elections on January 5th.
What we are seeing here, Erica, is, first of all, if you're Black and if you were confused as to whether or not your vote mattered, this right here says it all. They are desperate. They are targeting Black voters, Black people. That's who they're targeting, pure and simple. And so if you Black and you think your vote don't matter, boo, they ain't fighting that hard if your vote didn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Roland. And then to think that they are doing this as 251,000 bodies lay dead from coronavirus, and that the Senate has essentially left D.C. Until November the 30th for recess without passing any type of stimulus package to help those very same groups of people. I also believe that this is actually serving as a wake-up call for, again, as Reese said, we've been talking about this for months, for people to understand that you have to engage your electors. You have to be an engaged citizen. And what does that look like? What does that mean? I'm in Georgia. So guess what I'm going to be doing this weekend? I'm going to be talking to rural voters because 600,000 secured ballots have deployed from the state of Georgia. And that's how Georgia was able to secure that 65% of that Biden-Harris coalition to push him over for and flip Georgia blue, essentially. But there's still people that during this runoff election need to continue to be enthused, that they need to be engaged and understand that the process for what they did in the general election starts over essentially again for Georgians as we enter into this all-important Senate election where we would have our Madam Vice President-elect casting tie-breaking votes. So, again, looking at Republicans, they're not trying to engage Black people to bring them into the party. They're only engaging Black people to use them as puppets and as partners, as accomplices to white, as I'm now calling it, white arrogance. They are not interested in pushing a coalition together to help build, to help ensure that people are taken care of. They're interested in very much so engaged in white apartheid. And so people have to understand that these are the things that can happen if, in fact, we relinquish our authority as citizens, the privilege that we have to vote, what we have to do as partners to make sure that people around us to our left and our right and engage our vote and that we have to show up, if that's every year, if that's every 2 years, if it's every 4 years, whatever that looks like in your local municipality. You have the responsibility to engage, to ensure that these fractures, these fissures that do keep our democracy together aren't completely broken.
Folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one. Hey, folks at Seek.com, they're supporters of our show, and they have two fantastic products, this virtual reality headset right here, and the 360-degree 4D headphones. With the virtual reality headset, if you want to watch the VR content on Seek.com or other 360-degree video, all you gotta do is just get one of these headsets, pop your phone right in, and you can actually be right in the room where the content was shot. It's really compelling. It's really compelling content there. One of the things that I also love about it is watching this video, people who've been hang gliding on roller coasters and things along those lines, and you literally feel like you're right there with them. They also have, of course, the headset, which you can use for gaming, for music, for videos, you name it. It's Bluetooth. Amazing sound, tremendous bass, and literally the sound goes all across your head. Mary Spio, a sister, she is the founder of this company. She actually also designed and created these products right here. If you want to get one or both, or even subscribe to Seek.com and their VR content, simply use this promo code RMVIP2020, RMVIP2020, and you can do so. And so we certainly, again, appreciate them being partners with us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered.